Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while, I'm sorry, but I'm back, at least for now. Let's see. I'm trying to be back every week, but no promises. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. I have a great topic in mind. I came to the topic in Paris. I came back from Paris Fashion Week, but last week-ish. So end of June, I was there. During Fashion Week, it was fun. It was a really great time. I had a couple of meetings for Skinosh, but mostly enjoyed the city, ate snails. I tried to be French as much as possible and kind of worked out wine and snails. That's my definition anyways. And yeah, it was great fun. I know Fashion Week can be a bit too much, but this time I was really lucky. I was in a great area. Sorry, truck. Met a lot of like-minded peoples, old friends, made new friends. It was really a good time that I had. And during that time, I wore CCP tornadoes almost every day. And those are my tornadoes that you probably know. You see the beautiful leather. The shape is just crazy. I love the pointed toe. The creases here at the top. Yeah, it's just a perfection shoe in my opinion. And when I put these on, I immediately feel like a badass. I don't know how to describe it in any other way. So if I wake up in the morning, I feel a bit down, I put these on, I'm like, bam. And I wore those every day, and this really made me think about the leather, and I wanted to talk about the leather on these specifically. So this is Culatta, right? You probably know Culatta already. It is basically the butt of the horse, if that makes any sense. And this comes here with this beautiful texture, and it changes, right? So you have sort of more suede parts here, and then this is more moved towards the shell. And then you have, the most interesting part is probably, to me at least, the breaking point between the two. And it's all one height, right? It's not two different leathers put together. And historically, I think Carol was the first one to use that leather, right? And when you think about like historically how fashion brands use leather, they don't want those parts that have irregularities, right? They want the clean stuff. So back in the days, that leather was thrown away because nobody wanted to use it. So first of all, you have no consistency in products, right? Because every product looks different. If you make 10 shoes out of Culatta, they all will look different. Brands just didn't like that, right? They wanted clean leather for shoes, bags, etc. So that really makes it difficult to find that leather, right? If I, for Skinosh, for example, want to buy that leather, I remember like 7 years ago when I started, no chance, because there was no demand for that basically, right? So that means in return there was no supply. And Carol really opened that door because he had the connections, and I don't know what the reason is, to be honest, how he managed. But yeah, his family comes from a tannery, etc. So he managed to, or he had the idea in the first place, right, to use that irregular leather that nobody wants and made it popular over time. So I wanted to talk about Culatta. I have one example piece here, so you kind of have an understanding. And so back in the days, by the way, I used to buy shell cordovan, which is also the part of the horse. And this was highly polished and stuff, and it's pretty expensive leather. And I put this into the washing machine to see if I can basically make that Culatta myself that we now know and love. And it actually worked. Destroyed my washing machine, but it worked. And yeah, so this is basically how it works, right? So you have those fat layers in the leather, and then with heat, basically it pumps up and comes out. Now this is really difficult to show because it's a huge hide. And this is a great example of a beautiful Culatta piece, because so every hide basically has two parts of that interesting Culatta part, but sometimes they're very small, right? And obviously this is the most interesting part. So if you buy the whole thing, you will only use smaller bits. So it's not ideal, especially from an investment perspective, but this one is really nice. So let me turn this around. Really hope this comes across on camera. Right, you have. And this is here the suede part that I was talking about in the shoes, and this is here the shell part. And then you have basically the transition coming over here. Right, and it's also important to note that this is the reverse side, right? So the flesh side. This is the other side, which is then usually used for like shoes and all that stuff, but it's the less interesting side. Right, so I'm making a lot of bags out of Culatta. I just love that leather. It's my favorite leather of all times. I know now more and more brands use it, but I remember back in the days it was so fun, like to hunt. I used to hunt every day, contacting tanneries, and everybody said, no, we're not making that. So it was really difficult. Now it's a bit easier, but yeah, I absolutely love that leather. It comes in different colors, of course, can also be hand dyed. The shell is a bit more tricky to hand dye because it takes the dye differently than the Swedish part, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's basically the idea, right? This is the suede part, and then it transitions to the shell part. And the suede part is obviously soft and it's more pliable, and the shell part is rather stiff. All right, that's been it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. Right, really had this thought in Paris when I went through the city, looking at my boots in restaurants, sitting there staring at the Culatta. So I just quickly wanted to share that experience, also a bit of background on Culatta. I will drop a lot of new Culatta bags for Skinosh. I will also launch a women's collection in this year. We'll see when. I'm hoping for September, but we'll see. Lots of Culatta pieces as well, but also new Culatta pieces for men, briefcase, all that good stuff. Right, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, blah, 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 and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.